There is nothing quite like it.
Incredible.
Such a
How did
great
you come
idea.
up with this?
It's practically genius.
Think there's a better way? And then you build one.
You work on it, obsess over process improvement, iterate, communicate, and change it for the better. And when it works, it changes the way you work.
The show is here to celebrate and enable those genius workplace moments for you. I'm Lindsay McGuire.
And I'm Ryan Grieves. And this is Practically Genius, an original show from Formstack.
So Ryan, after 4 seasons of Ripple Effect, we're changing the name to Practically Genius. Why are we doing this?
So many genius ideas are only reserved for these big monumental breakthroughs like COVID vaccination and invention of the light bulb, but so many genius ideas are trapped inside of organizations that come through every single day that improve our work, improve our customer experience, improve our ability to react to market and customer demands. And that's the stuff that we want to harness inside this podcast. We want to bring that stuff to life for people to be able to learn from their peers on what they're doing to improve their organization, to create new efficiencies, to automate more of their work so they can get back to the more meaningful and more impactful work. And that's what the idea behind Practically Genius is all about. Lindsay, you just finished up the Future of Work sub-series. What are you looking forward with this next series?
I think Practically Genius will allow me to talk to people about things that they're doing right now and things other companies can do in this moment. Future Work is more geared towards what should we be thinking about? What could we be doing? What things might be on your mind as you're going forward making 3-year, 5-year, 10-year plus plans. But with Practically Genius, I think we're going to be talking more about what are organizations actually doing? What have they done well? What has gone wrong? What would they never do again? How do they want to continue improving on things that they've already implemented? So I'm super excited to talk about some things that are actually happening in this here and now and being able to distill those down into really easily actionable tidbits of advice for people. Ryan, as co-host this season of the podcast, what are you hoping to learn? What do you want to walk away with?
Besides whether I'm cut out to be a co-host on this podcast, I'm incredibly excited to hear from the folks that we're going to hear from over the season on the people that are closest to actually the action, that are implementing the change within their organizations, or maybe they're on the consulting side, so they're helping a wide range of clients actually implement a lot of different solutions. What's working, what's not, how much of this 10 years that happened in 2 years, digital transformation that everyone writes about, how much is actually real and what's not. That is exciting to me to learn from the folks that we're going to hear from, because they're the ones who are actually driving change, dramatically impact organizations for not just the next year or two, but probably for the next decade or two.
And it's funny you bring that up, because that's one thing I think about too. If we rewind 2 years, maybe 1.5 years, how much of what was implemented then is still happening now? And how much have we learned? And what are some things that we thought would work out that maybe didn't? I think that would be fascinating.
Totally agree. I think one of the biggest things that most organizations are also experiencing with a lot of that change is it's still very siloed. And most change has happened at the departmental level, and the organizations that are truly changing are from the organizational level. So you don't have data that's still just sitting in the individual systems and individual departments, but you're taking a holistic approach to what you're doing when you develop a new system or a new process. And we'll be hearing from the people that are actually doing that. So stay tuned.
We've got lots of great conversations planned with guests every other week in our Genius Spotlight series. In this, we'll cover different topics like digital transformation, customer experience, empowering your workforce with no-code tools, and building a culture that breeds genius ideas. And then in the off weeks, you and I will hang out to share insights in our Practically Speaking episodes.
Join Lindsay and I each week for new conversations around how you can implement practically genius ideas in your organization.
We'll be back on June 2nd with our first Genius Spotlight episode. Until then, you can find more resources for reimagining your world of work at formstack.com/practically-genius. I'm Lindsay McGuire.
And I'm Ryan Grieves. And this is Practically Genius, an original show from Formstack.